Welcome to non-traditional daily dose. Today it's a bit of combination with the vlog as well as a little podcast here. Now, sitting on the floor, which is awesome. I rarely do that, and so now let's appreciate this time for 10 seconds while we just unpacking this wrapping paper. But no, I promised that this would be a serious talk, but at the same time, it's also a chill day that I promised. So we just should spend a little bit of time together. Before I think it was a little too formal, but now I'm also wearing these beautiful turtlenecks. Are you a turtleneck person? Because I absolutely love them, especially when the fall comes, which is in this season right now. So when it comes to the seasons, I think, and somehow probably learn from also my body, all right? So as I just got a little ill, it probably just was telling me to slow down because the weeks before, I was just waking up at 6, right? Going to gym, then pick up my wife and daughter and then go with them to preschool. And I guess maybe this whole regime that I had during the summer was just too much, right? So there's this thing that I learned from the book by Jim Rohn, right? To also go with the seasons in life, and that can be metaphorically used also with the real weather changing, but also within you, right? So sometimes there are days when you are, or the weeks or months and years where you are really productive and on this crazy hustle mood, but there are also the times when you need to slow down and listen to your body, as am I right now. So I wasn't really paying that much attention, and then it just resulted in me having to take antibiotics now. In half an hour, I'll be taking another huge pill, but I'm not afraid of those. But some people are, which is kind of funny. Sorry. Okay, so let's dive into the organization thingy, because this year I was let's make it up, right? Because the last year I forgot, absolutely just missed it like with 1,000%. And so I was saving a little bit of money to now treat my wife with the new Apple Watch 15. And this is not, 15, the 10th, iWatch 10. The iPhones are now actually 16. Right? Yes. But this is not just to really brag about it, but I'm the person who does like a lot of deep dives and loves research. And so with this one, there was a really hard kind of decision making whether you should get the watch with cellular, they call it, and essentially it just enables you to taking calls and just connect to your SIM card without needing your phone. So the watches would be standalone kind of a device that can connect and having calls and stuff. And there was there's a quite significant price change if you take it with or without the cellular. I think it's around $120 a difference. So I think that's kind of a huge difference. And so I was just, doing this research about it, and there are people who kind of always use it. Then there are people who never have used it. And so this is the thing when you might not know when you need such a feature. But with this, in this case, and in general, I'm this person who just loves getting always the most high-end, the most newest thing, because I believe that, just in case, right? So there were real reasonings behind this, but the point of this, the whole Apple Watch thingy, is that sometimes in life, it's good to just pay a little extra in order to get something that you might use and might be really useful. So in this case, of course, it's always about it's about the value which you actually get, and if it's worth, right? Of course, there are many things that are questionable, but with this one, I felt that maybe sometimes if she actually maybe just forget her phone at home, and or maybe if she just really needs to make an emergency call from and with the watch because the phone is just somewhere hidden or like lost, then I found that as a huge value, because you never know, and so that's why I got it with the silver. So just paid the highest amount for the watch that you can. So when it comes to such decisions, I think it's always good to measure the potential value that you might get with that extra money, right? Like that you need to spend. And there's another thing that I also kind of just heard from another podcaster, and that one was about being able to provide, right? So there's also something really nice about the fact that you can actually, provide, meaning that you can take care of her or the family, and that's something that I also find really, I would say, you feel good about yourself, right? If you are able to do such a thing, to take care of the people who are closest to you, right? And so now might be just really focusing on this, but no, we can have a chat, no worries. Okay, so since very childhood, I love just packing gifts. I don't know why. My uncle taught me once with a few tricks, and then I was just learning as you go. But again, there are many things that make a difference also, right? Like when it comes to packaging and gifting, but that's for another day and another time. So today is just a chill log, so I'm just gonna pour that all over you. And so if you come back to this organization thingy, it's really about the fact that the details really matter, and the fact that somehow okay, it's time for my antibiotics. So I'm just gonna not really take them right now because I'm in the middle of this beautiful vlog / podcast video. Because it's a gloomy day. Okay. So my point was to say that when you want to be organized or work on yourself in such way, right? Sometimes you need to kind of fall, hit the very bottom to realize that, right? It just doesn't really come like, oh wow, now I just need to be organized. You probably need to fail like me. And then from that experience, you just admit that you are a mess. Yeah. So I felt on that day I felt terrible because how could I on earth forget about the anniversary, right? It's just so important. Oh my god. I mean, even that friend of ours, remember, which is even more ridiculous now if you think about it, right? I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's good. Sometimes it's good to have such friends who, I mean, sometimes it's actually not. But basically joking. So now I'm at the part that is the most challenging, the folding of the sides. You can't see that, but anyways, enjoy the sound here. And so when I terribly messed up and felt that I failed, as a husband, as a man, and since then everything had to change. So now the question here is if it's something that can be taught or something that you can then gradually learn. And I think as every skill in life, being organized is totally doable. But as every skill and basically with everything in life, I think, as also Jim Rohn's kind of mentioned this in his book, you must also learn how to be disciplined. And I think that's sort of another skill that is also very challenging to get to. And so for the past few days, I was thinking how one can get more disciplined and how you can improve in this area. And somehow it seems to me that it's something that I've never like actively practiced, right? Or maybe just, yeah, there was never like a class on such a thing, and maybe there should be, because if we think about all your friends who maybe just failed their exams, or the ones, I mean, not even friends, but just the people who were also with you in the college, and how they just, could not bear it and left maybe after a week or two. And the ones who maybe also just fell in the very end after the 3 years of bachelor's studies. Was that lack of a discipline to really push through, or was there maybe a sense of luck? And then as I was studying, and back then, really deep into the learning and paying attention to the grades, I learned that most of the time, there's this saying that the luck comes to the ones who are prepared. And in order to always be prepared for the classes or for the exams, you again needed to be disciplined to really sit down and study for a really long time. And then I also got even further to the history of mine, studying for the high school final exams. Again, you could just read a few of the summaries of the books that you had to read. There were 20 books that we had to read, and then there was one that was picked during the exam, and you had to kind of refer about the story and the plot and the whole concept of the book. And again, you could either read it, you could either read all the books by yourself, or you could just read the summaries. And I was again, right, like reading all 20 books, and just thanks to this discipline that somehow was in me. And so where does that discipline come from? Because it seems that this is something that then really, just roots through your whole life, and very likely influences the way you live, I guess. Okay, so we're just gonna continue on that. I just need to put a ribbon here. Thought of putting in the middle, but the rule of, the beauty of the life doesn't really like symmetry. Okay, so now we're just gonna dive into another topic, just for a few words. So, so if you have such a package, we're gonna go to the packaging thingy. You can either put it in the middle, the bottom, or the upper third. And usually it just looks really nice in the upper third or the lower third, probably not. But in the middle it seems strange, right? Unless it's, I guess there are many ways to do that. But these symmetrical thingies, they look just strange, right? Somehow. So this ribbon just came with already a sticker, double-sided sticker, so it's just really lovely. I'm just gonna stick this here in the upper third. Beautiful. Oh, okay, ripped it. That's what happens if you are not focused. But anyways, it just really was convenient to put it in there anyways. And so we got a beautiful ribbon, and as I was talking to you, I already missed also to put I forgot how to. Yeah, I think this is also kind of a ribbon. I don't know, but we're gonna take a few. Sorry, this is a new whole concept of just being here with you and chilling, and at the same time doing some manual thing with my hands. So we just dug into the symmetrical and asymmetrical things in life, but that's question and topic for another days. Let's just to fix this somehow. So I want to get back to that discipline topic because I find that really interesting to kind of where does it come from? Where does it come from? Was that the upbringing, or were there sort of many motivators in life? And I probably and very likely believe that there has to be some trigger in you. And so in my case, I think it was very likely because for the big part of my let's say upbringing, or basically as I was the child of these immigrant parents, I always felt that in a way I was not like good enough. I don't know if it was because of my parents, but there was just something that always was in me to sort of show that I am capable and that I'm worth. And that was definitely partly because of, obviously, I was so different from all the classmates in the elementary school, because we didn't have radio at home. Of course we had TV, but I didn't know what was my favorite band or music when I was in the 5th grade, and everybody in the class already knew that, and I had to learn all these things. And so I was kind of, it's bad. It's a strange way to put it, but I was, let's say, in a way, always kind of behind, And so because of that, maybe I just instilled this into myself that I have to be, I have to do the things. I have to persist, and that's maybe where the discipline came from. Just a theory. And and now I feel that it's of course it pays so much, like a lot, and I actually found few ways of practicing it now, being like fully adult. And so today it's just brainstorm about whether we can sort of push ourselves to be more disciplined, or whether we can learn that. And so finish the packaging, then I need to write a letter as well. That's what I do, writing a letter to my beautiful wife. Maybe too long. Yeah, the presentation is everything. It can be it can be a holy moly newest Apple Watch, but if it's poorly packed, Nothing can save you. Nothing can save you, right? So the ways to practice a discipline, right? So first, and this is something that you maybe have heard about, is making your bed, or making up your bed, right, after you wake up. It's, again, of course, it's tied with a certain habit, but it's more about you telling yourself, okay, I'm just gonna do that, right? Every time you're on the verge of, should I do this right now, or should I postpone it, or should I procrastinate that? There has to be something in you that tells you, okay, as I want to be a more disciplined person, I'm just gonna do it, right? And then this just challenges you throughout the whole day, because there are always things that you can either do right away, or you can postpone them. And so this definitely starts with just making up a bed. And then there are many examples of such throughout the day. A very common one that I think we all share would be washing the dishes, right? Will you do that right away after dinner or lunch, or will you just leave it there for another day, right? And then suddenly it just turns into another day. Oh, today it's not the right day. I don't feel well, right? Or ill, and then it suddenly just moves, and you procrastinate on that. So this is a huge topic to explore, but I would definitely start with the very easy things. Not mentioning to work on your side projects, or maybe a career of an artist, or right there will be always things that will stop us and somehow taking us back and pulling us back from doing what we need. And so with such a setup here, and with such a broad topic that we brought into our conversation here, and I'm also apologizing a little bit for for it to take me so long, but I'll try to have a podcast and also wrap a gift for your wife at the same time. No, but I really enjoyed this as a little bit of a meditation, and a little bit of just getting calm, and sometimes turning off this hustle brain to think about certain things that might improve our lives as being disciplined or more organized. Because ultimately, and that's what is really getting into my head nowadays, is how older, and how the time is not really, you would say, not really forgiving. It just passes and never stops. And so by being disciplined and organized, we hopefully will get, quote unquote, some time back. Because as we all know, the things that you procrastinate on, or the things that you leave behind, will at some point crawl on you, and it will take much more energy and time from you. So we are in as some of the podcasters say, in the very deep end. So thank you very, very much for joining me today. I love you all. So many of you are joining, so I really appreciate that. Just visible, to let you know that. And of course, now we do some B-roll of the packaging that we made here on podcast.